Reading Leonardo's notebooks, you have the feeling of an investigation that is following clues that goes right into the fabric of our reality. Buongiorno, today we will talk about the ever-watching eyes. In the Renaissance, mindfulness was a skill that was securing their survival. It was perhaps one of the rare gifts of Leonardo da Vinci's time that mindfulness was a much easier skill to master. Being not mindful about your surrounding could be easy or death. Nevertheless, Leonardo is a master of his senses, and his ability to notice was just outstanding. He once said, "The five senses are the ministers of the soul." That just noticing and using your senses is something that is going beyond just the everyday work. Looking at his work, you can discover how intensely he was able to observe and to feel. He was able to use his senses and his mind to feel deeper, to see clearly, to hear attentively, and he was able to draw joy and happiness out of this practice of noticing. His mindfulness and his noticing was going always beyond the obvious. He could spend hours by studying, watching and understanding. By concluding patterns and excluding repetitions, his art would include only the important and the essential. Even in his later days, when he aged and painted not so often anymore, he consciously educated his senses to clarify his experiences. If we want to appreciate, understand Leonardo's artwork fully, we also have to put the same mindfulness and the same observation into it, as he put during creating it. It is outstanding how much his ability to focus on the essential could be turned later in few light brush strokes into a painting. By expressing complexity through simple but essential representation, his artwork is a distillate of a whole universe. His ability to make the right decision what to include in his paintings to represent beauty is just marvelous. He understood what is important and what will affect others to reveal itself in the mind again to be a believable complexity. To achieve this, he never avoided the extra work. The story about the discovery of a cave is perhaps the best to understand Leonardo's mindset. He once found an opening to a cave and was struggling between fear and curiosity, and you can see how much work he is putting into observing this opening on the cave in which everything could be inside. Observing the reality with such mindset of wonder can only bring wonders forward. As artist, he was always seeking the strange and the mysterious and put effort to venture into unknown. Reading Leonardo's notebooks, you have the feeling of an investigation that is following clues that goes right into the fabric of our reality. His restless, always seeking mind was just incredible. It might be that some of his notes are repeating themselves, but often to show a different perspective on the already known subjects. He don't let himself be bound by fast conclusions or stop asking questions, open every theory to new observation. He's always approaching every task with a fresh mindset. Even when Leonardo da Vinci was one of the artists who became famous during his own life, he never was blinded by his success and just repeated what was popular. His work remained open-minded and sharp in the observation, like that of an apprentice who is discovering everything anew. Reading his notebooks and studying his paintings, you can see how much effort he put into his studies, down to every detail, exploring different perspectives with the highest possible attention. He imprinted everything, first in his mind, then in his notebooks, and then fusion every aspect in his artworks together. Leonardo da Vinci's mind was inhaling our reality like fresh mountain air, seeking and understanding every possible perspective and venturing from the highest hopes into the caves of the unknown.